Ready.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Friday Talk, Women Power in Tech by CTAG. The talk will be about tech and diversity in technology. I have today with me three lovely ladies who will be introducing very soon. First, introducing myself. My name is Laura, and I will be the host today. So in this Friday Talk today, we're going to have conversations with three ladies from the engineering team at CTAG, who all directly work on developing CTAG's AdTech product. And I'm going to briefly explain what we're going to do in this session before we go in further detail. So today is going to be an interactive session, and we welcome you to ask any questions and interact with us via the chat. So we'll put a little message in the chat right now. And we invite everyone to participate, shoot us any questions to Eva, to Laura, to Elena, and we'll definitely talk about all the topics with you guys. Then we've also created an email group at CTAG called womenintech@ctag.com. And if after this Friday talk you'd like to go a little bit more in detail about something, you have any more questions, or you'd like to talk with anyone individually, then feel free to shoot us an email and we'll answer you guys directly. So let's introduce our lovely ladies. I would like to start with Laura. Already been at CTAG for over 5 years, contributing to our development. So Laura, take it away.
Well, I'm Laura Murillo. I work currently as a tech lead from the SSP area, or the supply area now. And I've been working in technology for around 14 years now. So a while. I've been working with a lot of technologies in CTAG. I have spent my last 5 years. In June will be the 5th anniversary. And also, well, I work with different technologies, mostly on the backend side, and a bit of the infrastructure every now and then. I love Kubernetes. Also, I on my free time try to organize and collaborate with different communities, like the Google Developer organizers, the GDG, the Google Developers Group. Also, I'm a Google Developer Expert. That is a kind of title that Google provides to some people that makes some technical knowledge, and also this side of sharing with community and giving talks. It's something that also I really enjoy, going to conferences and sharing what I learned with some other people, and also trying to provide some more visibility to the CTAG. And I also try to collaborate with some women in tech initiatives, like the Women Tech Maker with Google. And I also have a podcast with two other women that is called the Tech and Ladies podcast, where we also try to provide some visibility every 2 weeks to more female working on this field, and also some things related to technology and women. So a mix of things.
Wow, that's a lot. And what's the podcast called, you said?
Tech and Ladies.
Tech and Ladies. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go over to Elena.
After this amazing background information of Laura, my tech career is way shorter than Laura's. I joined CTAG 6 months ago, and it's my first job as a programmer. I studied pharmacy at the university, and I have also a master grade in marketing for the pharmaceutical industry. So all the jobs I have had until CTAG are related to pharmacy and sales. So I decided to make a switch in my career, and I joined the I Don't Hack Bootcamp during 2 months, where I learned web development mainly, and now I am here working on TikTok as a junior software developer.
Wow. very big career switch. We'll get back to that later. So Eva.
Well, I think I'm the more academic from the three of us. I started my journey in here in Madrid, studying maths and computer science. Then I moved to Barcelona, studied their master's in artificial intelligence, and started my PhD there, also artificial intelligence. But I started in the world of natural language processing because I'm also a fan of languages, not only a fan of tech. So I found a way to mix all my favorite things all together. So I learned there how to program things that are able to understand more or less the things that we can type. So and then from Barcelona, I moved to San Sebastian, following the path of researching in natural language processing. And then at some time, I decided to switch into a more exciting adventure and try to the enterprise side of the technology. And that's when I came here to CTAC, just to start really putting in production these well-known models like BERT, BART, transformers, all these zoo of models that we can hear about when we go deeper in the deep learning or artificial intelligence world. And yeah, mainly this is my work here, just to try to put all these animals working together with our artificial intelligence models and infrastructure to get the most for our advertisers.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, well, ladies, I'd like to start by talking a little bit more about technology and sort of the technology fields. So, just to get a bit of an idea, what are sort of technological trends that you've seen in the area of engineering? I'm saying engineering, it's composed of a lot of different things, and also maybe a little bit on how your fields link. You have sort of the artificial intelligence, you have development, the supply side. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, probably Eva has a lot to add about the trends, because probably everything related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything like that, it's probably with a huge impact lately. Also, on the backend side, we have a lot of new technologies that we added on to our stack and that we try to apply, because we are quite dynamic here, I would say, and we try to adapt to what we see that the field can provide to the technology that we are building. So we have a lot of tools that help us to, for example, deal with the huge amount of information that we need to process daily. That's something that you don't need to solve in every position, but when you face a job where you need to deal with millions and millions of events, well, it's not an easy problem, and you need to look for the right tools to work with that. So we use and really nice tools like Spark, Druid, that help us with that job. Also, well, we work with more like daily technologies, like on the backend side, TypeScript is the language that we use mostly. So every technology add a bit. What do you think about the machine learning area, Eva? Because I think that's probably where more trends are coming lately.
Well, yeah, machine learning or artificial intelligence is crazy nowadays, because we now can deploy deep learning models in production, and those models are really promising and they do amazing work for us. So, but in terms of what CTAG are interested in, the main trends there are the ones that talk about multilinguality or multilingualism. being able to understand many things in different languages using only one animal, let's say. Also, in terms of encoding, there is a king, which is Python. I mean, it's where all the libraries, the main libraries that you want to use are implemented and are available there. And then you can see, take a look on TensorFlow or PyTorch things. It's like I'm just publishing a lot of terms, but trust me, they have sense. They are not, I'm not inventing that. But there are many things that are going on, and I hope that in some years they will stabilize a little bit in order to be able to go more for optimization over there. But I would say Python, multilingualism, supervised and supervised, semi-supervised algorithms, models, and yeah. And also easy to deploy things, because sometimes these models are awesome, but they are huge. And sometimes they are also putting a lot of issues for the background side, as that is more close to the Laura and Elena work there.
Yeah, so about that, I mean, Elena, you started in programming, with programming months ago. When you first started working at CTAC as a junior developer, what were sort of the first technical challenges you met, and what was it like?
I would say that I was used to like really. I am on the back side of CITA in the core chapter, and I would say that the most challenging thing was to learn about the product itself. I think in CITA we have a really huge architecture that you have to know really deep, because otherwise you are going to get lost in the performing the task that has to be made. And also learning clean architecture, that Laura was my mentor in that field, and I learned a lot about that. I wouldn't say that I performed like a first task in my first month. No, I was just trying to learn as much as possible of Laura and my mates, and try to to understand everything, and just keep going and survive to my first meeting. I just remember that the first day, the day I joined CITA, we had a really important meeting where we discussed how the team was going to perform the task for the next 2 weeks, and I didn't understand anything of that meeting. But now I think that it's something that I improve way a lot, and that everyone in CITA, because of the amazing teams that we have, they make really easy to get used to that rhythm.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I hear you mention the team at CITA. I also hear you mention that Laura is your mentor. How important is it for a junior developer like you to have this sort of support and mentorship? Can you tell us something about that?
I think it's not only for junior development. I think it's like for all the developers in the world, especially the juniors. It's something really essential to have this kind of figure in your life, because you have a lot of knowledge gaps that has to be filled. And of course, Laura is helping me. Also, a lot of people in SIGTAG are helping me on that. But also because you have to tolerate the frustration that you may have, because you have just started. You can't go. You are not going to understand everything. You have to ask for help, and I think Laura is pretty close to her mentees, and I'm very optimistic. And of course, you have to have this mentor figure, because this mentor is meant to help you to achieve your goals in CITAC, no matter what they could be. And Laura is, of course, helping me to redirect my path.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, so very interesting. I think we're touching on the mentorship topic a bit more, because Laura, you have other people that you mentor. You said that you're amongst others a mentor. How important is mentorship in for women in technology?
I think that it's really, really important because it provides a guide of someone who has already been through that path and can help you to understand everything that's going on or what will come after. So yeah, as you said, also one of the program that I also used to help to organize, it was Tech Sessions was called, and it was also a program, a mentoring program to help more female working in tech to become speakers. So that's something because we realized how important it was to provide visibility. If you really want something to change, you need to provide visibility to the ones that are currently working on this field. And we decided to work with this program, and I think that it's nice how you can teach, and it's not really teaching, it's simply sharing what you have learned on your path, and see how effective that can be to help someone else to go faster through the path that you had to walk before alone. So for me, it's really nice to be a mentor of someone, and usually I have really nice mentees where people I can easily connect to. So it's easy for me to try to help them, and try to see how I can help them to become even bigger than I am currently.
Wow, that's great. And also, Laura, you probably also had sort of key moments in your career. Did you have any mentors in your own career? Did you have any people that helped you along to get to where you are now?
Yeah, definitely. I had quite some people that helped me a lot with. Whoops, we got some technical
Sorry.
issues.
Okay,
Fixed, no problem.
tech problems, guys.
Yeah, always happen. I had some really nice people. I felt really lucky a long time ago because I was working in a company where I had some group of people really focused, for example, on good practices and sharing, creating these communities that we have in tech. Because I know that not in every field you have this kind of communities where you can share, and that's why some years after that I decided to also help to organize a few communities, because I have learned so much from them that I want to try to give back a bit, only a small amount of what I have got from the communities. Then I would be really happy to be able to give back to the community too. Also, for example, with the first community that I created to improve the women visibility, it was because of a female that came from France to help us in Madrid to create one Java community, and she was the one that showed me, hey, there in France we have this group. We try to create some small community, some safe environments for women in tech. Maybe we can try to reproduce what we are doing there here and start creating some communities for women too. And that was like, wow, yeah, why are not we doing that? So yeah, I felt really lucky because I know that I have known a lot of people on my career that has helped me to also speed up my experience and my knowledge.
Wow. Very, very, very nice. Very interesting. So I guess I want to go for a moment guys, feel free to ask any questions in the chat about if you're also interested in mentoring or whatever. Feel free.
I see that we have a few questions, Laura.
Yeah,
if you want to
questions, so let's go there.
We
have a question about what kind of models, because we talked a little bit about technology already.
Okay.
And I think some people would like to know a little bit more in detail.
Yes.
What kind of models do you use, and what's the objective? Translation, classification. So I believe this has to do with artificial intelligence.
Well, the answer is easy. It depends on the problem that we want to tackle. If we want to tackle a classification problem, then we build a model based on the latest technologies that we can handle in terms of resources, computational resources, or if there is a pre-trained model or we need enough resources to train it. And then we build and deploy that model for the classification problem. We don't not do so much translation, at least for the moment, but we adapt our models to, we develop our models adapting to our problems. Also, we do work with images, so it's not only NLP. They are also work in artificial intelligence applied to images. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we do. Yeah.
Well, I hope that answers the question. I think, artificial intelligence, we talk about models, we talk about Python, a lot of things, but we know it's a very, very big field. So Eva, I think I wanted to touch a little bit on the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, we cannot hear you.
Laura, you're
well.
Yeah. And now, can you guys hear me?
You're frozen now. Now the connection isn't willing to work.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
You're back. Sorry, I did that just to create a little bit of attention. So let's continue a little bit on the technological questions. We have a question from Alberto. What's the worst programming language you've had to use? Now, I know this is a very hot debate, so let's have a debate about that.
Probably I would say Visual Basic because it was the first one that I used, and now that I think about that, it's like, wow, no, not anymore. Thank you.
What was so bad about it?
I don't know. It's kind of. I don't know how to explain it.
A lot of people are agreeing with you, by the way. So
yeah, I see some agreements with me. I don't know. It's more easy to understand, to organize your code with the new technologies that are being created lately. Some other languages help us to write a better code, I think. So yeah, probably that's why I prefer the others, and that was the one, that the first one that I learned. That's probably why I don't like it that much.
I would say Lisp. I don't know if you know about it.
Oh yes.
A lot of parentheses. Yeah, that was a nightmare. And I remember one practical session with my colleague, and we were just putting the parentheses more or less random, yes, until we get the function that we wanted. So it was sometimes a nightmare there.
The great advantage of being a junior is that I have only touched like 3 languages.
And you love them all, right?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. So, I mean, also touching on the topic of junior and entering into programming, there are some questions that we have here about what you recommend when you already have some tech knowledge, how you can sort of elaborate your knowledge and enter more into programming. I guess also speaking from your experience, Helena, what are things that you guys would recommend if someone would be interested in learning more and developing themselves more as a programmer or a data scientist?
I would say that it depends on what you are looking for in the future. If, for example, I have pretty clear that I wanted to be in the back end of a web or of a product, not in the front end. But if what you are looking for is to become a full stack developer, I will go for your own project. Why not develop your own web? Or I know that there are a lot of people that are looking for their own website, and I think that you may help them. So that's something that will help you to arrive to the real world, to the daily life as a developer. And I will also look for the latest frameworks that are in the market. There are a lot of pages that will help you with that. And yeah, I think it's something really, you have to learn by yourself a lot of new things. But I think it's the second step after you know the basics of the development of a web.
Okay, and is there any sort of specific language, a programming language and tools you would start with, sort of the access knowledge?
I will say that regarding the front end side, I will go for React. React is with hooks, especially if you may learn it, because it's the future. It helps you a lot to reuse components and play with the composition in the website, and it looks really cool. And regarding the back, it depends. I will go for TypeScript now that I am programming in TypeScript, and I really love it. But if you feel more comfortable with Python or any other language, that's up to you.
Question: what do you think that it's easier to learn, Python or TypeScript?
That's a good one.
Python was the first
I
language.
propose we also throw it in the chat, guys. So everyone, TypeScript or Python, what's easier to learn?
What do you think?
Are we team Python or team TypeScript?
Seriously, I don't know because I learned in Python. It's like the first time, the first language I touched in my life. But then I switched to JavaScript and now TypeScript, and now I just don't know how to answer this question. I would say that maybe JavaScript is the easiest one. So TypeScript.
Oh, we have a vote for Python.
Yeah, we'll divide ourselves into teams afterwards and have about it. So
Everyone is saying Python, but no, I disagree with you.
and Eva, if we talk more about artificial intelligence, say people would like to learn more about artificial intelligence. It's a developing field. We think about robots, but we know it's much more than that. What would you recommend people to learn, to look at if they want to inform themselves a bit more about the technological parts of artificial intelligence?
Well, first, I will tell them to pick one area inside the artificial intelligence field, because it's not the same the robotic part or the multi-agent studies or natural language processing, image recognition, or all the image handling or all the signal processing, and then study how the big guys are doing things. I mean, if Google is using lots of libraries that are available in Python, and there is a community in Python that can be in your back, just on that you can rely on them to ask things, to ask for help, and to learn from them, just go for Python. But if there is a community that working in TypeScript for doing such things, just go for TypeScript. Just I would recommend to be open-minded there, and be flexible, to not be so attached to a library or to a framework, and to be able to switch from one library or framework to another. Because this field is so changing so fast. So yeah, but now I would say maybe the best first step here will be learn Python, because it seems to be the biggest community there.
Okay, so hey, you were breaking up a little bit, but you recommended to start with Python or to learn Python, because that's the sort of big community here.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I don't know if there's any questions anybody wants to ask. Feel free to ask, guys. I would like to also touch a little bit more on the topic, going back a little bit more to diversity, because we're talking, for example, today also about gender diversity in engineering teams. What do you guys think is important for people to keep in mind, to know in general? What is important if you want to sort of encourage diversity in an engineering team, from your experience?
Wow, that's a tough question. Yeah, I know that for sure we don't have a magic recipe that you say, okay, if you do this and this and this and this, then you are going to have the more diverse team. But I think that probably the first thing that you need to have in mind is if you really want a diverse team, you need to treat it as a diverse team. It can look obvious, but it's not always that obvious, because sometimes I have faced some people say, no, I really want a diverse team, but in the end, I treat everyone the same, and I ask exactly for the same, and I do exactly the same with everyone. So if you have a diverse team in different aspects, not only in gender, but also you could have diversity in age, for example. If you have different roles, people with more experience, people more junior, they are different. So they need different approaches. They also have different needs. So you need to be prepared to handle diversity that way, because if in the end you try to have diversity, but you ain't treating everyone exactly the same way, probably the diverse people will leave, because they won't feel included, or they won't feel that like it's a place for them too, because it will be only a place for the ones that you adapted your environment, your metrics, or anything. So that's one point. Do you want to add any other? Probably. Eva, Elena, what do you think?
Yeah. Also, it's difficult to get this diversity if you are looking for a specific profile or a specific background, because at the end, from school, from university, you more or less learn the same things. You more or less have the same things in your head, that you know the same path to follow. So and it's difficult to find someone as Elena from another completely different field that want to switch to development, and to bring this fresher to the area. And I think it's hard to find this thing. But I agree with Laura that it's good to have diversity, but we need to be prepared to handle it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that also all these tech positions are like more, or has been always more related to men, which is a completely wrong thing, because nowadays I think this kind of trend of tech is changing, and now the engineering, for example, in my bootcamp, the half of the people that joined were men, and half were women. So I think that each day more women are interested in tech world, which is something that will help us with diversity in our teams, because we will have more women to hire in the companies, and I think we are going to break the market soon.
So are you guys seeing a trend towards more women showing interest in roles in engineering, development? Also from IronNet, for example, from maybe different areas. Have you guys noticed trends about that?
At university, it's still a high level of boys versus girls enrolling computer science degrees, at least from the ones that I've been teaching, because there are still few girls there. Maybe that the problem is before university too, but maybe the problem is also linked with the thing that Laura was telling before. It's with the visibility that there are women there that are happy with their work, that because they are so interested in science, in technology, and they can do great careers as well, even though we are not so much, and that's why we are not so visible, because we are not so much, but we are less, let's say. But yeah.
Do you have an idea of the percentage that you have seen in the latest year that you taught at university?
I had a class of, I think they were around 35 people, and it was five girls only. And it was a pretty high ratio, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, when I studied my university degree, we were 10% because we were 10 from 100. And we were said, hey, you are the promotion with a highest rank of women. It was, what? Really? So yeah, that's probably something that we also need to show that it's not what it is what it is currently, but it's not what it should be.
No.
Or it hasn't. It doesn't need to be like that, because there's no reason behind having something like that.
Yeah.
But also about creating diverse teams is something that you also need to look for. When I don't remember exactly the sentence, but it was more like if you look always for if you when you are trying to look for someone, it's easier for you to look for someone like you. You are going to value that because you say, wow, that's great. In my case, for example, probably I would say, yeah, she's doing this and this and this. So yeah, she's doing everything right. So she's perfect for this role. So if you have a no so diverse team currently and you continue looking for the same and you use the same approach, then it's going to you are going to continue failing on finding diverse profile. I remember, for example, something that happened. I don't remember if it was something from Amazon or something like that. That they did an intelligence artificial algorithm to filter the curriculums that they received to do a kind of pre-filtering for tech roles. So they gave us a learning the current situation that they had. So as usually, they didn't have too many profiles coming from women that arrived to the interview process. The AI that they created ended rejecting all the women on the first step because it learned from the past and it learned from the previous experience, and the experience was okay, no profile from women. So for the next process, no profile from women at all. So that's why you need to change things to make the current situation change.
Yeah. And that's part of in selection. I think that's a very, very biased technology. We should definitely talk to the QA about use cases. Elena, you mentioned that in your education, your course at IronHack, it was 50% men, 50% women. Would you say that there's an opportunity we sort of see that and that maybe when it comes to high school, university, maybe we're losing more women than we would like to. Would you say there's an opportunity for sort of career switch and women later on in their careers deciding to explore the technological field?
Of course, there is a huge opportunity there. You just have to see that I don't have was the first bootcamp worldwide, but now you have many options. Even third-time options are only for women that wants to recycle themselves and that make that switch that I made to the tech world. So I think you don't. We have like a misconcern in Spain, our daily life, that you cannot switch your career once you have finished your studies and with good marks and everything, and it's something really wrong because you are like stuck on something, maybe with a job that in which you are not happy, you will feel frustrated, and at the end you will say, okay, I have been wasting a lot of years. And now with this kind of boot camps, you can have like another opportunity to start again from zero in a really short period of time, with good companies that will help you to feel the knowledge that you need to know in the tech world, just as Sitag is doing with me, and I think it's a good option for everyone that wants to make that change. And a lot of women are considering these options for sure, because I think that this ratio I live in last year, it's the one that I know has been having these last months, and also because they are trying to encourage women with a lot of webinars and everything, making noise to make a kind of claim for that girls to come with us and recycle yourself, give an opportunity to the tech world that I'm sure that you will love it. So yeah, I think it's really important to consider all the options and not for going for an engineering if you are not sure at the beginning.
Okay, and now your story, Elena, is very cool, right? Because you were in pharmacy and marketing, and then you just become a back-end developer. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just can you talk us a little bit through the sort of what happened there? What was sort of your aha moment that you were like, you know what? I'm going to recycle myself. I'm going to go and become a back-end developer.
I have been always challenging myself to learn like a lot of things. Some of them really useful, and some of them not that much. So my boyfriend is also a developer, a backend engineering, and he said, "Oh, look for that! There's like a kind of a grant for a bootcamp. Why don't you try to, enter and learn new things? You can also keep working while you are studying it." And I say, "Oh, okay, why not?" That was for data scientists and for with Python. I got the grant, but it wasn't my moment because I had like a agreement with my company and I couldn't quit. So I say, okay, let's wait and just keep learning by myself. I then discovered JavaScript. I fell in love with JavaScript, and I went for the web development. I got another grant, and I entered to the bootcamp. But this kind of feeling that, okay, I want to keep learning. I want to keep learning, and that that with third time jobs you just get stuck and you keep doing the same thing. But with programming and with development, you have to get used to the rhythm of, okay, I am not going to control everything, but I'm going to learn way a lot. And you just finish your day saying, okay, I have contributed to my company, I have learned a lot of things, and I am happier and wiser for that. Yeah, that's like kind of my story and how I realized that there was a world in tech for me, and I found my real passion. Yeah.
You found your calling.
Yeah, for sure. Seriously, it's like something I think now I kind of regret at some point. Like, okay, maybe if I were like the Elenas of 18 years, I will go for an engineering and not for pharmacy. But no matter what it may happen, I think I am in the best position I may be right now. So
It's great.
It's never too late.
Story.
it's never too late.
No.
No.
Very good. And I mean, touching also on that, Eva, hey, you have a very strong track record in academics. Now we all know that the academic world is very developed, lots of research, very interesting, and now you switch to tech, right? To a more commercial companies, so to say, commercial environment, industry, as you call it in academics. What was sort of what made you decide had to accept this challenge at CTEC? What was your story there?
Because I'm an action girl, let's say. in
I like it.
in academics, it's all more calm. You can have more or less your time to research, to test, to retry things, to go deeper in your knowledge about some problems, some technologies, some. But at the end, it's like, okay, and what can I do with that? You need this part of application of your knowledge or your ideas. I've been working. I worked in San Sebastian in a technological center where we did knowledge transfer to some companies, and I realized that that part was exciting to see how the models that you were training for weeks on your computer then went live at some platform somehow, and I realized that that maybe it was a good moment to make this switch, to start learning how to apply the knowledge that I've been gathering all these years to a real problem, to the real world, to help a company, or at the end to help people to have better user experience. So yeah, that's why, because I really appreciate and like this movement and these new challenges from the real world.
Do you think there's a good connection between the sort of all the knowledge that you gathered, had the academic knowledge in your academic career, and sort of the application of this at CTEC?
Yeah, totally. And CTEC, I think I'm lucky because CTEC proposed me a new challenges that I've never seen before in my academic career. Because it's well, I learned from contextual advertising here. I never heard about that. So yeah, and I didn't know how to apply all the NLP things that I know to the problem because I didn't know about that problem. And I realized that there's a lot of things, really cool stuff to do to make things work really better there. So yeah, I think there is a great connection from the knowledge and the application there.
I think that it's probably related to being in a startup environment where you have a lot of things to try and experimental things to.
Yeah, maybe because if CTEC were a bigger company with all the things settled up and all the problems really structured, we won't have this freedom to test and to try and to propose new things. The good thing here is that we do have this space to propose new ideas, to improve our products. So yeah, that's a great thing. Yeah, that maybe in a bigger company won't exist.
Probably they could exist too, but if it's too difficult to try to apply something new, then probably it's more difficult for people to push it. Because if you have a lot of barriers when you try to try something new, then at the end you say, okay, I give up.
It's frustrating. If you're pushing and you only hear a no at the other side of the table, it's okay, I'll give up. I will do the straightforward way because you are happy, I can do my work, and that's it. But yeah, that's not exciting. The exciting thing is to try new things and to see how things are improving that way.
So, Lara, touching on that, I mean, you've been with CTEC since almost the beginning, because startup not so old. You already mentioned sort of startup environment and everything. What is it like to be a developer in a beginning and growing startup?
Well, it's something that I love. I think that from the 14 years that I've been working on different companies, most of the time I've worked for startups because after 4 years working in my first company, I discovered what it truly meant to work for a startup, and then I decided that I didn't want to go back to a traditional company anymore. For me, it's really nice and it's something that I need to be in an environment where you can truly see the impact of what you are, to have this freedom that we talked before, to test things, to provide new ideas. And it's really rewarding when you are working in an environment where you see the high impact that your ideas and your experience could have at any level of the company. It's not only limited to your own area of coding. No, no, no. You can have a huge impact in the revenue of the company, for example. So it's really nice when you see that growing, and and how that works, because not in every environment you can have something like that. So it makes you feel, at least for me, more rewarded. Say, I'm building this, and I'm this part is mine, and this is happening because I thought about it. So it's like, yes. I don't know what's the experience for the others, even if they joined after. I think that the startup spirit is something that we are not losing too much. At least I don't feel it like we are losing it, even if we are growing. So how did you feel? Yeah.
I think the spirit is there. I mean, I can see how I sometimes I'm blabbing about some ideas, and there is some people from product that just catch that idea and just pass it to another team, and then you just overhear another meeting and you say, okay, that's my blabbing idea that is there, and you can see how the ideas of everyone are impacting the company, and that's exciting. Yeah.
Great. So, Elena, there's also another question for you. This is in the screen right now. What would you say was your biggest challenge when changing your career path 180 degrees? Sorry, I mixed up my degrees. 180 degrees.
Oh, I'm not sure. I guess it's that I'm used to have everything under control, and when you begin in the real tech world, you notice that that is impossible. That you don't control your day, and that you will get frustrating because you say, "Okay, this piece of code is going to work. I'm sure about that," and you test it, and you say, "Okay, it doesn't work. No matter." No problem, let's try again. And when sometimes you keep iterating in the same problem, and then you realize that it's because of stupid things that you messed up at some point, and you say, okay, I have been wasting my time just for this little mistake. I guess that dealing with frustration is the most challenging thing, and it's in my daily life. I'm now getting used to to that, but I think all the developers must learn about that and to be more autonomous. And yeah, I would say that dealing with frustration, Laura can also say that. I think.
Does everybody have that? Frustrating moments with code?
Sorry, Laura.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, can you repeat your question, Laura? I think.
No, I was asking because Elena, of course, is a more junior developer in that sense, but I can imagine that everyone has their frustrating moments with code that doesn't work out and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like not the same thing to do an exercise than dealing with them in the real life. It's like you are more exigent with yourself, and that's why I think the frustration is something that is in the daily life of the programmers.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Today we were laughing at a tweet that Eva shared that it talks about this, and it's kind of the process that you go when you are programming, and then suddenly you say, "Oh no, I have a mistake. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to fix it. Oh, I'm a fraud. I'm not valid for this. I should probably change to a different career. Oh no, the imposter syndrome. Oh no, what I'm going to do? Oh wait." It was a comma. Oh, great! I fixed it. Yes, I can do it. So that's kind of our daily process.
Yeah, totally.
But it's really rewarding when you finally get that thing, and it's like, okay, I did it.
So yeah, we know that it's a common feeling. So that's probably something that we usually say even more to people that's joining to this field. Okay, don't consider quitting only because you face your first challenge, because you are going to be challenged every day. So you only need to get calm and think, okay, I know that it will take time, but I will overcome this problem. This problem is not going to be the one winning me. So
I think that with that thought, I would like to close the Friday talk. I think that's a beautiful thought to close off with. We've had three different stories here from three women in tech. Super inspiring. Elena, you're very cool. Switching from pharmacy to programming. Eva, coming from the academic world and impacting so much on the product. And Laura, you've been with CTech since the very beginning. Really can say that you developed the product from the start, so to say. And I think the message is also, even if you get frustrated, if you run into challenges, well, we'll get through it, and you can come out on the winning end as well. So thank you so much for your time today, for the wonderful, inspiring stories. We're going to leave, I think, the talk open for a little bit longer so that you guys can ask any questions in the chat and leave your comments. And as I said before, feel free to contact us afterwards at womenintech@ctech.com. We'll be watching the email thread directly, all of us.
Thank you very much for watching and for the opportunity to have this time sharing.
Thank you.
Bye. Any last words?
Bye. Thank you all for listening to us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.